Thanks for some of your last minutes of 2025 with us. We appreciate it. I'm Kim Christensen.
And I'm Kyle Clark. New Year's is knocking on New York City's door, so let's experience the magic of Times Square without the shivering cold. Wow, that would have been a lot better with sound. You know?
I felt
really.
it. I was ready to start counting, but I didn't know if we should.
If you've ever wondered what would it be like to be in Times Square, but with headphones on.
Now you got it. Here we go.
Oh, now.
Here we go. I got it.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I actually don't care that much about the sound now. I cared about it 30 seconds ago when they were doing the countdown. It's kind of, how should I say it? It's the entire point.
You know, for some people it could be overwhelming, so don't worry about it. It was fun to watch the numbers. It built up the anticipation for me to watch those numbers.
It allowed you to count down at home rather than, say, actually listening into Times Square. Hey, listen, it's going well. 2025 in Denver's closing out strong. You know, we're doing some great work. But the good news is you still have 2 hours of this blessed year left.
Oh, look, they're singing the New York song. All right, so we got 2 hours to practice the countdown loud and clear here in Colorado, because the fireworks, though, they have started in downtown Denver. They had the early bird ones. The first show started about an hour ago. The second one is slated for midnight, so you can get out there if you choose to, downtown Denver. Holiday traditions are changing, though. Technology evolves as well, and while there are still those fireworks, there are also drone shows out there.
Yeah, I mean, it's like fireworks, but they're silent, so it's not unlike what we showed you at the top of this program. Denver's been putting on a drone show for the last 2 years. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj is along after learning a bit more about what goes into it. Shalima?
Maybe not the audio payoff, but definitely the visual payoff. Now, Tom Dolan and his entire team, they have been drinking a lot of coffee over the last 41 days because they have been consistently lighting up the Denver skyline using hundreds of drones.
These are the bright 3,000 lumen lights. These are truly what shine during the show.
Tom Dolan has been flying drones for the past 15 years, but 3 years ago, his business took flight.
We started small. We started with 100 drones.
He's the owner of Bright Flight Drone Shows.
And honestly, we thought that was really going to be our niche, you know, private events, graduations, birthdays.
Over the last 40 days, the team has staged around 80 shows, including the Mile High Drone Show, which has lit up Denver's skyline for the past 2 years.
I always tell people 90% of the work is done before we show up. This is the easy part. We show up and essentially hit play.
Every movement is carefully choreographed by a team of animators well before the 600 drones take flight.
We wanted to go a little bit taller this year, so we were able to get approval from the FAA for 41 straight nights to fly 500 feet.
Tom says while they also put on shows in Utah, Nevada, and Arizona, Colorado accounts for about 90% of their shows.
I think it just expands the playbook for communities.
MSU Denver aviation professor Chad Kendall points to how the technology has evolved from military use to agriculture and search and rescue missions.
You know, as communities assess risk, environmental impact, and cost.
You know, we place them on the field, we give them their routes, they fly the show, they land back in place.
And for Tom, a native Coloradan, being able to do this is a pretty great feeling.
To be able to fly Lucifer, to be able to fly the Broncos logo, the Nuggets logo, the Avalanche logo, whenever those go up, I just, you know, I pinch myself that we have the opportunity to do this because it's truly special.
Well, I know that when we had a chance to talk to Tom, he also mentioned that there were a few favorites, and you may have guessed it, Lucifer being one of them, as well as Big Blue Bear. They did have 200 more drones this year than they did last year, and definitely, he said, another one that people are big fans of, dinosaurs. Reporting live in Denver, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
So we're going to end 2025 with a weather record, something that we'll look back on because the most 60-degree days have ever been recorded in December, in the month of December in Denver this year.
Yeah, I watched people watering their lawns today.
I know. Well,
watering their lawns on New Year's Eve.
Because you're worried about it drying out.
Yep.
And 9 News meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen went golfing.
For the 5th time this December, I mean, 60 degrees. It's been 60 degrees more than half of the month, and the skiing is just awful this year so far. So it's all about the golf, and I've been making use of it. It's kind of therapeutic for me because I don't get so down on the winter so far. Here's the current temperatures. It was a warm day, and it's still a warm evening. 44 degrees right here at the 9 News studios in South Downtown Mile High City. 18, that's how many 60-degree days we had this December, counting today. We already had the record beat. We're just adding some empty net goals here with the goalie on the bench here. 18 total. This was me today, yeah. I mean, I was in shorts, t-shirt, and hitting very long drives on the 8th hole of the Highland Hills Blue course. Got a big one today. It was really fascinating. Here's what tomorrow looks like here in Denver. You're going to see quite a bit more cloud cover. In fact, it could be almost all cloudy all day long, but the temperatures still may make it close to 60 degrees tomorrow, despite all the cloud cover and maybe a sprinkle of rain here or there. But really, the action is in the mountains and the northern mountains. We've got winter weather advisories to talk about, so I'll address that coming up in the full forecast in just a few minutes.
President Trump used the first veto of his second term to derail a major drinking water project in Colorado. Trump and his team actually took credit for restarting that project during his first term, but that was before Trump promised harsh measures against Colorado tied to his false claims about election rigging. The Arkansas Valley Conduit has been in the making since 1962. It's meant to bring clean water to dozens of communities on the eastern plains, Pueblo to Lamar, where the well water's no good. A bill to finish that project passed both chambers of Congress unanimously. President Trump said this week that he vetoed it to save taxpayers' money. Just 5 years ago, his then Interior Secretary, David Bernhardt, a Coloradan, celebrated the water pipeline project and praised President Trump's role in an op-ed for the Pueblo chieftain. Bernhardt writing that the president, quote, delivered for the people of the West by putting the West's most precious resource first. President Trump's promised to retaliate against Colorado if state leaders won't release his ally Tina Peters from prison on her conviction for tampering with voting systems. On social media today, he attacked Democratic Governor Jared Polis and the Republican prosecutor on Peters' case, writing, quote, I wish them only the worst. May they rot in hell. Free Tina Peters.
The Trump administration is ordering a retiring coal plant in northwest Colorado to stay open just a day before it was set to close. Energy Secretary Chris Wright issued an emergency order requiring that Unit 1 of the Craig Station in Moffat County stay available through the end of March. Wright says it will boost affordability, but Democratic Governor Jared Polis argues it will raise electricity prices. That's because Tri-State, which operates the plant, says the facility suffered a mechanical failure. So it'll need to undergo costly repairs to comply with the order. This is the 6th time this year that the Department of Energy has made a move like this. Wright also ordered 2 coal plants in Indiana, 1 in Michigan, and 1 in Washington state to stay open past their retirement dates, as well as a power plant in Pennsylvania that runs on oil.
Colorado is ending this year without a firm plan to bring in more wolves to turn loose as part of the voter-approved program to reintroduce wolves to Colorado. We made a public records request for any copies of agreements that the state has to obtain more wolves because they've been searching up, down, left, and right. Colorado Parks and Wildlife responded they have no such records, no such agreements. CPW planned to get wolves from Canada this winter, then the federal government blocked that deal. The Trump administration warned Colorado to cease and desist importing wolves anywhere other than from the northern U.S. Rocky Mountain states. Since then, Colorado cannot find a willing partner to turn over wolves. In January of this year, CPW imported 15 wolves from Canada. December of 2023, they got 10 of them from Oregon.